This is my 1 month review of the Colamy Atlas. So I put up a 1 week review of this chair, which was probably 90% positive with a few could be betters. And I wanted to do a 1 month update and a 1 year update as well. So the 1 month update is here. I've owned this chair for 1 month, and these are all the good, the bad, the things I've noticed, the things that other people have pointed out to me that I've then noticed, what I would change, and if I, most importantly, would recommend any of my friends, family, anyone who asks about a ergonomic office chair, if they should buy one essentially. And that is going to be the purpose for this video. If you're watching it, it's either that you care about chairs, or you're thinking of buying this, or something else probably in the price range. To note, I am not a chair expert by any means. I have probably done the exact same thing that you're doing right now in terms of looking at reviews, looking online, what's the best bang for your buck, because I'm the exact same. Whenever I buy anything, be it a chair, a TV, whatever it is, I want to make sure I get the best for my money. So, and I don't make a purchase that is just as bad. I'm going to do that, that's just the way it is, but as educated as I can, especially with a chair like this, because the effort of ordering one and returning it, you can do it, but I just don't like doing it. So let's get into it. The headrest, I think the last time I started from the bottom up, we're going to actually start from the top down this time. Starting with the headrest, which I kind of didn't really get into too much in the first review, because I actually missed a really important feature that two of the comments kindly pointed out, and I've been using the feature ever since. So it has 3 types of adjustments: up, down. It can like pivot kind of like this depending on what way you're sitting. But the most important one, which is the one that I've been using all the time, is that this actually pushes forward and back. And most of the like notable reviewers, so like your BYOBs or BYOD, bring your own beer, or honestly missed these features, which is kind of crazy because this actually makes the headrest really usable for me, whereas before it was like, if I was fully extended lying down, I could put my head on it, but I actually couldn't use anything. I could use my phone if I was like lying like this, but this makes it usable in a day-to-day function, and it's actually quite comfy. So thank you for whoever pointed, for the 2 comments that pointed it out. And if you do have one of these chairs, it goes forward and back. You just have to push it quite a lot harder than any of the other adjustments on the chair, but yeah, it's really good. I like headrest is a big thumbs up for me. So we'll go on to the backrest and just the back of the chair in general. So I am 6'3" and it fits me perfectly. It's not going to have the same kind of give as I'm assuming here as like Logitech, Herman Miller and Body that like moves with your back. But if I need to move like this, it's not like super rigid that I can't do anything, but like I can't move the chair that much. It's supportive. The lumbar support here, again, I have had no issues with it. People have said that the hard plastic digs into their back quite a lot. I don't notice the hard plastic at all. It's just useful lumbar support whenever I need it. I don't think it's anything that overwhelming or overpowering, but it is quite good. I like it whenever I need it, and if I don't need it, I just put it all the way to the bottom and I can't feel it anymore. The extending functions on the chair I really like. So this is it at the kind of most upright position if I want to have good posture, you know, if I'm working and trying to be healthy and all that. The next one, I don't know what the exact degrees are. This is probably the one I use most frequently for when I'm working, gaming, watching anything on my computer. This is where I am most of the time because I prefer any sitting position. If I'm in the office, if I'm driving, wherever I am, I prefer to be a little bit reclined or unhealthily slouched. I do thankfully have quite good posture, but this is my favorite sitting position for the chair. It's where I spend probably vast majority of my time. I think it's 110 degrees, I think. And then I'll have another one down, which I think is 130, which, to be fair, I use this quite often if I am generally from watching YouTube or something, Sometimes if I'm playing games like Rocket League, anything that's controller based. And then the last one, this is, as far as goes, I think it might be 140, 150. I use generally before I go to sleep when I'm getting really tired and I'm just like scrolling on my phone. So generally I'll do this and I'll have my feet up on the bed. That like, honest to God, is the way I do it. But yeah, I really enjoy the back features. The one thing I have noticed in the month, and it could have been a thing that was there right away that I just took me a while to pick up on, it's quite noisy. So I'll notice the like sound of the changing the chair just randomly as well at times. It's not a big enough like issue that I would highlight it as a negative because of the price it is, but it is something to take note of. So yeah, like you can see there when I got up it made a couple clicking sounds. So this chair supposedly does have a 3-year warranty, which is one of the selling points for me, because if I get 3 years out of it, more than 3 years out of the chair, then I'm like happy days. Kind of 80 quid, €100 a year isn't bad going for a way better chair than I had before. But if it does break down on that time, at least I know I can get it replaced. Although I have heard their customer support can be a little bit difficult to get resolved with, but I have no personal experience with that, so I can't really give that judgment. But to continue on, this is the tilt tensioner, so essentially making it easier or harder to go back and forth. I have it set at probably a medium tension. When it's very, I quite like it when it's as tight as it can go. If I leave it open, if I don't have the chair locked, and you kind of just swinging back and forth, because you won't be like there like a seesaw going back and forth really quickly. It's just kind of a nice smooth movement. But if it's too light, it's a little bit too light. I don't know what else to say. So that is the adjustments on that side. Here is for the seat pan depth, which I'm actually not going to show in this one. Essentially, no, I will. It essentially just makes the seat base go in or go out, depending on your height generally. And then once you're at the position you want to be, it just clicks in. So I always have it as extended as I can, because again, I'm a little bit taller, so I want kind of as much support from my thighs as I can get. But if you're a little bit shorter, or just don't want the seat base to be that far ahead, you can put it quite far back, which is good. And then yeah, you just have a kind of your usual up and down as well. This is the height I always sit at, so I'm not going to show it, but it does go up and down pretty much as expected. So yeah, that is it for the adjustments. On to probably the worst part of the chair, the seat rest here. I actually didn't go on to the seat base itself, but I will. The armrest here. The weakest point of the chair, for a number of reasons. The one that, if you're watching this and again debating whether to get this chair, the armrests move quite a lot, like a lot easier than a lot of the other adjustments that I would know. Again, I suppose they're one of two manual adjustments, this and the headrest. I don't generally get up out of my chair by holding the armrest, but if you do, you're going to notice yourself sliding or falling, or you know, that's just going to happen because they do move quite easily. That being said, they do have a lot of adjustments, but the weakest point isn't actually how easy they move, it's how they're positioned, because this is them all the way back and my elbows, like at my normal seating position, don't even touch it. My elbows come off the back. So one of the comments in my last video, was one of his qualms with it as well. The armrests are too far forward. If they came out of the back, like a Herman Miller Aeron or something like that, I think that would fix everything, because two of the issues I notice is, yes, they're too far forward, but also if you recline at all, so here we go, it's just, they do work, but it's too far forward. They don't move with you at all. They're kind of bolted into the bottom of the chair. So they're not great. I'm not going to give them praise, but I'm also not going to tell anyone to not buy it for this reason. if for whatever reason an armrest is the most important part of the chair for you, then it isn't the chair to get. There could be some aftermarket like add-ons or upgrades you can make. I haven't looked into it because again, it's not something I really think that much about. I'm not a chair snob when it comes to that. I just want the best bang for my buck, but I'm not sitting here every day being like, oh, these armrests are really annoying. I'm just like, it'd be nice if they were better, but they're not, so it is what it is. But in terms of adjustments, they are quite good. They go forward, backwards, right, left. They go inwards and outwards, and then they go up and down. So four-way adjustment, pretty good. It's a meh. It's not a deal breaker for me, and it wouldn't be a deal breaker for anyone if I was recommending it. But again, if this for whatever reason is your favorite feature on a chair, and most important thing on a chair, don't get it. There's going to be better ones, I'm sure. But yeah, when it comes to the seat itself, again, quoting other reviewers, it's apparently on the firmer side, but I think it's quite nice and soft to sit on. I'm comparing these to your standard leather gaming chairs, which this is just a night and day difference. One of the things I kind of read up on is because of how thick the cushion is, and because it's not a mesh chair, how this will change over time, if it's going to sink in and deform quite a lot, or if it's going to retain its shape. That's something for the 1 year review I'll be able to talk about on, because right now it hasn't changed at all from what I can notice. And yeah, it's really comfy. I have no issue with it at all. And then lastly, I don't really have much to say on them. The rollers, the casters, again, it's like some sort of aluminium, normal plastic wheels. They are fine, but this is me trying to up a chair when I don't really know these kind of features myself. They roll perfectly, if that's all I can say. This is not something, again, I notice / care for in a chair. As long as they're not getting stuck. I usually use it on carpet and don't notice any problems. I'm currently on a wooden floor, and it's even better. So if you're thinking about this chair and you want to buy something in this kind of price bracket of €200 to €300, and you don't want to buy a second-hand, because for me, I can't find second-hand Herman Millers or Steelcase, all the ones that everyone always recommends anytime someone asks for a budget chair. They're just not in the area that I'm in, and if they are, they're usually twice the amount of money that these are, and they're secondhand. So I don't mind buying stuff secondhand, but I just can't find, if I wanted to buy an Aeron, for example, I would have had to spend at least €500 to €600 to find, and I just didn't want to do that. So if you want to buy a brand new budget chair, because I still think this is quite a lot of money to spend on a chair, if you want to buy a brand new budget chair, I would recommend this. If you don't want to buy a second-hand Herman Miller Steelcase, I would recommend this. And yeah, we'll see if that changes in the 1 year update, if I remember to do it. But right now, I would kind of wholeheartedly recommend anyone to buy this. In terms of ratings out of 10, this is probably just picked out of thin air, but I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10, 8.5 out of 10. It's the best chair I've used personally. I'm sure there's many better chairs out there, but personally it's the best chair I've used. It beats any gaming chair, any cheap office chair, non-branded office chair I've used. I have not noticed, I've sit for 8 to 10 hours a day. I haven't been sore, I haven't noticed any sort of aches from sitting on the chair, and it is just miles better than anything I've had before. So I would highly recommend it. And yeah, we'll see. In a year's time, it might be very different. I might be this chair is terrible, it fell apart on me, the seat is completely caved in. But 1 month in, I am happy days and would happily recommend this to anyone who's looking for a decent priced office economic chair.